All right, welcome back, guys, to another episode of A2 Flow podcast. We're here today with a special installment of A2 Flow where we're going to be talking about college and college graduation. Because now that it's May, it's graduation season. You probably have a couple friends who are graduating either high school or college. So we're going to start it off. Steven's got a list of questions that we're going to talk about today around the topic. And Steven, let's get into it.
Oh yeah. So like Marilyn. So first and foremost, for anyone graduating this season, congrats. It's gonna be a very fantastic moment for you to walk that stage. I know a lot of you graduate either within the next couple weeks, next week. I know Marilyn, for example, she's graduating next week. She's a class of 2022. Our school's doing our thing down here in Harrisburg University. This year's a little bit different just because not only will the class of 2022 walk, but the class of 2021 and 2020, my class, will be walking alongside them. So they have a bigger venue. We're going to be at the Farm Show Expo
Yep.
complex, and it's going to be a cool time next Thursday, May 12th. If you're interested in watching, we have a live stream going on. Just check out the Facebook page or anything, our socials at Harrisburg University to come show support to all our lovely graduates. It's going to be quite also interesting because the first topic I want to jump into is just graduation in general, like for us specifically. Because again, this is kind of a unique situation because I don't think most colleges are doing something like this, or they probably have done something like this already. But it's a first for everyone because for us we didn't get to walk, but for you guys, this is this is the moment for you. So Marilyn, how are you feeling going into the moment that you've been working for 4 years?
Well, it's a little bit surreal, I have to say. I think part of it comes from I actually walked at the farm show for my high school graduation. Um, so for those who don't know, I went to Commonwealth Charter Academy and they hold multiple graduations across the state because they're a statewide charter school. But I went to the one in Harrisburg. So my graduation for high school was in the farm show arena where HU is now going to hold their graduation. So it's a huge full circle moment for me in a way that I'm not really excited about because I was looking forward to graduating in a different venue, one that had maybe a bit more of a prestigious connotation to it. Cause I'm like, yeah, it's university. I really made it. But we're graduating at the farm show arena. And like Steven said, it is for space. I'm still excited about it though, just because, it is a long time coming. Looking back on the 4 years that I've been here, I've realized that in some ways it did go by very fast. Everybody says that, and it's definitely true. But it was a lot of hardship, educational wise, socially. You realize how far you've come since freshman year. So it's a nice sort of crowning achievement on it all to be able to actually walk the stage and kind of complete that cycle of your life. But it's also bittersweet knowing that it's finally over and things aren't going to be the same as they were in college. Like you're not going to be able to walk over to your buddy's dorm and be like, hey, let's like go out and let's watch a movie or let's hang out or something like that, or they'll just come downstairs. So like moments like that will be gone unless you all get an apartment together, which would be pretty sick. But for me, that's not the case. And for me, that chapter of my life is ending. So thinking about that this past week that I've been home, it's been a little rough, but I don't know. I think I'm handling it by getting excited about the next stage of my life, which is like moving to a different town, getting a job, interviewing, like becoming more of a working adult is something that does excite me. So I don't know. Those are my those are my thoughts on graduating, I guess.
Hey man, it's good thoughts. I mean, you're kind of going through intermission. I think that's where a lot of us kind of experience that feeling. I mean, obviously my situation is a little bit different for yours because it's just the whole pandemic.
Yep.
But I think what you're right now, you're just in the intermission phase because you're just focusing on the next. And for a lot of you watching, if you're just in that phase, it's okay. Like take that moment to like first of all breathe, especially if you were like having those type of college adventures where you were struggling a lot. This is that breathing moment. This is where like when people are telling you like, no, you should be working, putting the work. Nah, breathe for a moment. Take a chill pill. You done the hardest task that a good portion of people in just this country can't really do because of just how hard it can get towards the end. You know, there's people I know who seniors who dropped out, and it sucks. Some go off to do crazy things, some don't. You know, you have to have your own metric and values set for yourself in order to succeed sometimes. And with graduation season, this is just to highlight your amazingness of the 4 years of you guys doing some really amazing things. So remember that as you go through your greater years. Now, like I said, wait you, we're gonna have 3 classes walking in this graduation. Overall, they're welcoming for the class of 2022 with undergrads and graduate students over 1,100 students, well, alumni to the
Wow.
family. So you're thinking, okay, that many people be at the thing? No, 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 no. If it was, I would not be doing it. I swear, I'm not sitting through all that, bro. I am. I like no disrespect, but like y'all gotta section that off by days. Like come in this day, cool. Do Penn State because Penn State does that because they have a big class.
Yeah.
But try to do that all in one day. No, there's no shot. We're gonna be there till like midnight. Like I don't think no one wants to be there till past
Yeah,
midnight.
that's way too many for one
Yeah,
day.
because our graduation happens in the evening time, so it's like around
Mhm.
like 6. So we're probably gonna be there till like 9. Um, and I mean, yeah, what are your thoughts on that time, man? Because I was when I saw it, I was like, I don't know, man. That's kind of
Look,
late for me.
I don't know why it's on a Thursday, first
Wait,
off.
okay, what's up with you this Thursday? Because bro, my graduation in high school is on a Thursday, so I don't.
Everybody that I've asked says that Thursday's weird. Like every single person except for you. So I think that your high school graduation was weird too.
Bro, well, no, 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 no way, no way, no way. Because here's my thing: my high school graduation was on a Thursday, but it was like early in the day, like midday. Like I think, well, no, it was like around noon. My
Oh yeah, noon makes sense.
middle school, same principle. So maybe it's just a Philly thing. Maybe I don't know. Because there's like I thought that was just a common thing that your graduations would be like typically on a Thursday or something.
I don't
But
know. If you're from Philly, drop it in the comments. Did you graduate on a Thursday? Because I think it's weird.
I mean, personally, I would have picked a Friday just because, like,
Yeah.
more your people can probably show up because, like, Thursday, people are still
And
working.
work, yeah, like my family had to take off work just to
Yeah,
come down. I know
well,
some people couldn't get off work, and that's like sad that your family can't all be there.
yeah. Then also, you got to think about the young ones. Like, they got school. Like, you know, I mean, obviously, they're gonna be happy they don't have to go to school one day, probably. Cause,
Yeah.
but like, normally you want them to be in school. So it's a weird day. But hey, whoever shows up for you, that's awesome. But whoever can't, they got live streams for that. Hopefully, for your
That's
school.
true. Yeah,
Um,
technology age.
Yeah, like, like, take this a decade ago, no one was doing live streams, like, you had to be
5
there,
years
record it.
even.
Exactly, like, you had to record it or, like, even just pick pictures and just enjoy the moment, like, for mine, I never had a recording, so I don't all I have is photos and memories, that's all of I got, but then I couldn't see because I had no glasses that day, so that was even more funnier. Yeah, I
Okay.
actually had no glasses that day when I graduated high school, and, I had to my mans who was walking next to me, I had to tell him like, "Yo, bro, make sure I don't fall, cause like, I can't see. Cause the stage is so bright and the lights are so bright, I can't see nothing." And, I got an award that day too, so I'm like, "Yo, how do I get to the podium?" Cause that was how bad my vision was that day. Still had a fun time though, but with graduation, obviously we have a rehearsal the day before, so we're gonna see how exactly we're gonna do this thing because I'm just curious on how they're gonna do seating. Is it like by last name? Is
I
it by
know. I need
first
a
name?
I need a rundown. I'm glad that they're having a rehearsal because for my high school graduation, no rehearsal. You just got there a little bit early. I'm pretty sure we all just were winging it. And I
Yeah.
mean, it worked out somehow, but we were definitely winging it. And it was probably, I don't actually know how many were there, maybe like 300 kids.
Mm.
It feels like it had to have been more than that, though. Um, yeah, I don't know. There were a
Uh,
lot of people.
nah, my high school made me freaking. They took the whole month of May and made us practice.
Hmm. Wow.
Practice the walking, the sitting, the singing, because we had to sing some songs. And then I forgot what we sung. I think it was an R. Kelly song, or it was kind of ironic. It was R. Kelly song too, but we sung some R. Kelly song, or was it "Lift Every Voice"? It was one. I think "Lift Every Voice" and some R. Kelly song we sung. but we had practiced the whole shebang. So like, if we could not mess it up. But
Mhm.
someone still messed it up because like there's people who just showed up the day up, like, "Yo, what we doing?" Because I don't know, they never come to school because like when you're a senior in high school, if you can, anyone at home can relate. When you get to like the later parts, when like the education stops, there's not much to do. So most of the time, your school can say, "Come for half a day," and then you can go home. They just want that for attendance sake. So my school, a lot of students just didn't show up. And then the day of graduation, we had one kid that was like, "Yo, bro, I go left, you go right." I'm like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" And then literally as we're walking down, I'm like, "Yeah, bro, go right, and then just follow the person in front of you." And
Mhm.
so that's all you really need to have to do. And then I don't think he sung at all because he didn't even know any of the lyrics, but he tried to fake it. I think the popular dance trend around that time was the whip. So
Oh, my goodness.
uh
You are
yeah,
dating
so
yourself.
yeah, I know, but like, so if you were to find a video,
What
I
is it
don't know.
these days?
I
Gritty?
think the gritty is definitely the gritty now. It's so weird. Like 2016,
Oh my
2022.
gosh.
Like the gritty hella better than the whip at least, because like all we doing is like this. Like, bro, we was on that stage
The
just doing it, and everybody was just vibing. I'm like, yo, I'm not doing none of this, bro. I'm
whip
in
goes hard.
It go hard, bro. But look. I'm in the back, far back. You can't even see me in the video because that's how much of us was in there. We were squad deep. And everybody doing the whip in the front. I'm like, yo, half of y'all can't even do it right. And
All right,
I'm
HU,
just like,
everyone should gritty across the stage.
no, somebody gonna do that. I swear to you.
Somebody for sure will.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Will it be me? I don't know.
No.
Uh, nah, I don't think.
No, I
I'm
hope not.
Nah, I
I'm
think I ain't
glad.
gonna. Nah, I would. I ain't
I'm gonna
embarrassing
boo
myself.
from the crowd.
Look. On some real, if no one does, no one does, I might have to do it. I might have to take one for the team, because it's like my thing is also with the graduation. Like, because I already got my degree. So what? I'm gonna get another one. Like I'm getting two. Like, what we doing?
No,
No,
no, you'll probably get like an empty thing.
I mean, look, I can finally get something to put my degree in because I've been keeping it in the envelope for years. I should have framed it, but it's fine. But I'm just interested to see how this goes because, like, I mean, from my perspective on it, I mean, like, I graduated. It's been 2 years. Yeah, I've made peace with the decisions of not being able to walk. I thought I never would be able to be able. So to have the opportunity, I had to do a lot of thinking. Not really. See, this thing called life, right? And especially specifically my mom. Love my mom. And for those at home, if you love your mom and she says do it, don't say no. You might wake up a demon.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah.
Well,
So
I think that's very telling of why you're walking.
look,
Everyone's gonna be like, "Who is this guy?" Just kidding.
yeah.
Everyone still knows Steven.
Yeah, you know me. I do a thing, and it would be a fun time. But yeah. At the end of the day, I love my mom, so I ain't trying to get her a bad side. So I got to do my thing. And also shout out to Paul Arendt. He, for those at HU, he's a creative mind freshman professor. Creative mind is a class we do here at Harrison University that really just focuses on a lot of social issues, and we kind of discuss it, have very open dialogue about it, and do a series of things to kind of expand our mindsets on stuff. So I had him in freshman year at the Philadelphia campus at HU, and I had a cool talk with him because he also was the person behind the reason why I went to go see a monk in my junior year. So yeah, if I always mention that on the podcast, so no one knows why specifically I did that. He inspired me to do it. So shout out to Paul. So I talked to him about it, and then he played a role. So shout out to Paul. But yeah, I'm doing it because of that. But I'm excited to see some of my fellow class of 2020. It's been a long time, and I'm not excited for everybody though. Let's keep it real. I love some of y'all, not all of y'all.
T.
It's tea, but like it's just honesty. Um,
What is it?
but but in the end, graduation for everyone, understand at home. I know we joke here and there about certain things. It's a fun moment. Enjoy it. Have time with your friends and family. Get the teary eye, do all that stuff. Take many pictures, videos, because those moments last a lifetime. So enjoy it, have fun, and for us, we'll have definitely a great time doing our thing. A lot of tears will be shed, a lot of moments, a lot of friends will be out there. So We're excited to do this next Thursday, 6 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Live stream starts, so check it out. The links will be in description as well on this YouTube video and on our Spotify list. So if you want to check it out, then save the link there. Because this will be up the day before, so we'll be looking
Yes.
forward to seeing you guys. Show us some love. We greatly appreciate it. And also just shout out to everyone for giving myself and Marilyn an opportunity to do stuff like this with the podcast. So a lovely Richmond team, Shaney, Danny, Alex, and them, and also our boy Ryan, miss you, buddy. We appreciate everything you guys do for us, and we're doing this for you guys. So thank you. Next topic. So let's talk about takeaways from the college experience. You've kind of touched on it. You
Yeah.
touched on the fact that the friends you made here, the experience you'll be able to do, you won't do it again. So outside of that, post grad plans for you, what's going on with you? What are you kind of doing right now to set yourself up for the future?
Wow, this is the question that we would always ask the alumni that would come on the pod. And now it's finally my turn.
Yes, you
Ooh, I don't
got
like
you on
it. Ooh,
here.
now I know how they felt.
Exactly.
Wow, post grad plans. Okay, so walking the stage, gonna check that off my box. Right now, I graduated with a degree in MIBA, so that's the Management, Entrepreneurship, Business Administration program, and I had a concentration in data analytics. So I'm currently more looking towards the data analytics side of the degree that I have, and I'm looking for entry level data analyst positions. So that can look like anything. The job descriptions that I've seen are pretty varied, but for the most part, they're looking for somebody to run queries using like SQL. They're looking for somebody just to kind of like go through and do reports, especially for the entry level positions. So I'm really just looking to gain experience from whichever company I end up being hired by. So I'm interviewing with different companies, just applying every day. I apply to a handful of jobs, and I'm fortunate to get a couple interviews back. So I'm currently in the interview process right now. That being said, what I'm looking to do is I have a very close friend of mine from high school, and we're trying to get an apartment together. Both she's graduating with a degree in nursing. I'm graduating with a degree in business. She'll be in the mass. She's going to do her master's. I'll be working, hopefully. So the goal is that the both of us will be able to rent an apartment together. Um, Likely towards like Philly area because that's where I'm mainly applying for jobs. And then as I'm working and she's doing her master's slash also working, we'll just be able to like live life together and that'll be super fun because our friendship has been mostly long distance, but she's like my soulmate. It's like that quote from Euphoria, bitch, you're my soulmate.
Oh, I was about to say,
It's
I
literally
thought
like that.
it sounds like that because I'm like, yo, you about to hit euphoria. I feel it coming because I hear it in my
Yeah,
head, like, yo, she about to say that. But
of
like,
course.
but
So
like,
it's literally like that. And hopefully um that's what we end up doing. That would be like my ideal. If that doesn't happen, then I'm really just gonna move wherever I end up getting a job. So that could be like where I live now. It's probably not gonna be Harrisburg. So it's kind of between where I live now and like Philly. That's kind of mainly where I'm applying for. But Philly has more of the jobs that I'm looking to have, like more data analyst positions are coming out of that general area. So fingers crossed, I get a job there. But I'm really just looking to get a full time position. Anyway, I am still employed throughout the summer for now, so I have a summer job. But after that ends, or even before that ends, I would like to have a full time position lined up. Which is scary because I'm talking about it and I'm talking about graduating, but in my mind, it feels like back in like 2019 during the summer of COVID because I'm home in this space that I created over the like peak of the pandemic, whatever era that is, who knows what we'll end up calling it in the future.
hmm,
But I'm like back in this space and it feels like that summer right before my junior year where I was just kind of like doing my own thing, but all my friends are still in college right now. Other friends of mine are graduating. My sister's in college. Like she wasn't in college then. She was a senior in high school. And it's just like a surreal moment that I'm having where it's like I'm living multiple eras right now in a way, because I'm home. So I have like a whole home schema in my life where I'm like, all right, I'm home. I do these things when I'm home. But then I'm at college. I do these things when I'm at college. And that's not to say I'm like different people, but it's like a mindset. And I don't know how else to really describe that. So yeah, I'm having like a surreal worlds colliding kind of moment. And I'm trying to, I guess, figure myself out more and figure out how to navigate into the next stage of my life. Cause I'm like, I just turned 22. That's not old. That's how you normally turn if you like follow the traditional track of life. um, it's not old, but I'm like having a existential crisis. you know, I'm like, what do I do now? Like, how do I act now? Like 21, I feel like there's societal norms and standards where when you're like 21, oh, you just turned 21, you like party all the time kind of thing. And like, all right, I can get behind that. But now you're 22 and now you have to like live and navigate the world. And it's like, there's not as set of a standard in society for how 22-year-olds are supposed to be versus how 21-year-olds are supposed to be. So myself navigating that, I'm just like freewheeling, free whatever. I don't know. I'm like cliff diving in my mind. So whatever that is. Um, so it's weird. Things are weird.
I
So
mean,
I think that I think that part of what helps myself, and I assume other people in general, is looking forward because you can be stuck in this mindset right now, which is fine. I still believe that you need to take a break between college and finding a job. So it's crucial. You need to figure yourself out. Um, but using that time to figure yourself out, I think you need to look forward to what you want to do next. Because maybe you had an idea in college, like I knew I was going to get a job afterwards, but what do I want to get a job in? What are my focuses with that? What are my like minute goals? If I get this job here in this location, what am I looking to build in the future? So I don't know. I think that having that mindset and having that mentality really helps me not just stay stuck here.
well, look at you. You're having a full circle moment. And I think that's
Yay!
what that's the way I would say describing what you just said in a nutshell. Because I mean, hey, when you look back at also the very first episode that we done here on this podcast, right? You did it in that space. And now we're at, I don't know what episode number we're at right now. I can't think out of my head, but we're in the 20 areas for sure. Um, so it's kind of a full circle. Like, hey, I started this podcast when I was a college student, and now I'm still doing it, and I'm about to graduate, do the walking thing and everything. So I think it's very surreal to have those type of moments. And also, dude, the moment you're having is just what we all did after we're done. We were like, okay, at 21, I'm just living my best life. At 22, good luck, because you don't know what the hell you should be doing at 22.
Yeah.
No one does. I think you just figure like, you summarize the best with just, hey, there's a tomorrow. Let's figure that out then. So I think it's important to anyone watching the podcast. If you are struggling right now, you post grad or anything, take a break. Just breathe,
Yeah.
bro.
No,
It's
really,
not
just
that
take a
deep.
break.
That's I think a lot of people probably in life will say like, nah, this is where you go even harder. No, the fuck you don't. Yeah,
No.
it's just you need to chill out sometimes, because if you don't, you'll end up like some people and overthink the values of what you should actually be doing with your physical and mental health. Because if you push yourself too much, you end up just not really getting to where you want to be in life. And take it from me. I'm 2 years out of college. I make somewhat decent money. Obviously I could definitely do better, but it's a slow grind to, better days. I'm not worrying about, living
Slow
paycheck to
grind.
yeah, I'm not worried about paycheck to paycheck, because 2 years ago I established that I don't want to do that. And I took
Mhm.
steps to get to not doing that. And I'm confident where I'm at to say that it's a fun time, but it's not there's more fun times coming. So I keep going and do a thing. And I mean, throughout the 2 years, especially with the podcast, myself and Marilyn, we've done a lot of cool things here. We started the very first Heritage University merch line. I think that's something that we're both proud of doing, because I mean, obviously, we know there was a need for it, and when we took opportunity to say, "Hey, can we do it?" And here we are. We've done multiple pop-up shops, sold thousands of dollars worth of merch, and we're looking forward to eventually having an online website for that to show to you guys and anyone else in the HU family, because it's important to have something like that. But look at all the stuff you make, all the stuff you did in the past, focus on the future, but also in the present, breathe, because it's important to do that. Um,
Yeah,
because I need to do that when I graduated, and it was a moment. But then, ironically enough, the pandemic presented itself and gave me the opportunity to breathe, which
it did.
is really weird. But hey, when you don't got nothing else to do but being at home and you don't want to watch Netflix all day and or binge any other fucking app, you just kind of focus on, hey, what's life for me? And in my field, in graphic design, social media, it was easy to find a job online, but that's just step one. So baby steps. But in any case, before I ended the podcast, because I mean we've talked pretty much about everything that's on the list. That was kind of like the key things. Um, is there anything you want to add, Marilyn, to anything we were talking about, or any questions you may have that you want to bring out there to talk about?
Um, I don't know. I would just say that like this is just my perspective, and I mean I could probably echo the perspective of my friend group who's also largely graduating. Um, but I think I would just want to re-highlight that like definitely take a break, and that doesn't have to be like you just said, Steven, just watch Netflix all day. Like I try and go out to the park. There's a state park where I live. If you moved back home, maybe that's something that you'd be able to do. Um, I'm the kind of person where I need uh I'm largely spontaneous, right? I think Titus can say that for sure. um, but I still need a general itinerary to like figure out my day. So when I came home, I emptied all my stuff out the next day because I got back late that night. I came home and I made a list of stuff that I wanted to accomplish. And I organized it by day. Did I get to everything every single day? No. But that is a good thing because then I was able to fill up my days with more things. So some of the general things on my list were like unpack, go through all my clothes, go through all my college things, reorganize my space, reorganize my life. I just felt that, at least for me, I needed to figure out myself from who I'd been in college, coming back home and trying to like, I guess, braid the two together in a way. Because I had a whole bunch of tangible things here, I had a whole bunch of tangible things there. And I needed to go through and be like, all right, what am I actually using in a physical way? In a more, and that also like organized myself emotionally, if that makes sense. Because I could look at all my objects, I have them here. I still have to go through them all. So I had to look through all my objects and be like, all right, I'm keeping this, because this fits into my image for the future. And that's really what I'm trying to say is like, I needed to organize myself for the future so I could be prepared for my goals. Taking a break is more than just sitting at home doing nothing. Taking a break can look like, and I mean, maybe that's what you need to do for a break. That's fine. I would like go crazy. But taking a break for me just kind of looks like figuring out my next steps. Because if I don't, then I'll get lost. And I'll get like imposter syndrome and I'll be like, I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. um, so I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Steven, does that resonate with how you were when you graduated? That's my last question. I wanted to just throw it back to you since you are a graduate, you are walking as well. You're no less of a graduate than any of us. But yeah, I just wanted to highlight that experience for you, see where you were coming from, since in a way you got, I mean, I know you came to peace with it now, but in a way you did get robbed.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like the kind of. I mean, you obviously know my stories on it, but to give everyone a whole idea how I felt. I mean, in 2020, unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to graduate online. So my mindset wasn't like the greatest at the time because then, and due to COVID, I was like, I don't want to go home because I don't want my family catching anything from me or anything of that nature if I'm traveling for A to B. I don't even want my dad to drive up here to get me or any of
Yeah.
that nature. So, unfortunately, I had to spend graduation in my apartment space here. I had friends and family on like FaceTime, texting, all that stuff. Appreciated it. I loved them for that. It was just like it's not the same. We all know this. We tried, but it was just not the same for me, especially because I couldn't just spend it with them. So when I saw the thing happen, I was not with it. I thought I tried to be happy about it. Like I tried, but I think I just couldn't watch the live stream, turned it off. Next day, woke up, was like, okay, let's just do nothing for the next couple days. Like let's see what happens when I just do nothing. So a lot of binging of shows happen, the same show sometimes because it was like I don't know. I think that's a thing that people do sometimes. They just watch the same show that they've watched countless times just because. So I ultimately got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of going a little cuckoo in here now. So I did stuff. I took walks, here and there. I try to get my mind centered. And ultimately I came to the conclusion like, okay, felt disrespected a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot, but let's focus on me, the future, and what I can do. So that entire month of May in 2020, it was more like reflecting, similar to what you were saying as well. Is the feeling over time was I'm not gonna find peace anytime soon. I'm going to find peace someday. And I eventually did. But at the time, it was very hard to find peace, and on top of this, trying to figure out life, like, hey, jobs opportunities are probably gonna be very shot right now because no one wants to really hire because no one knows what's going on. And especially is worse for people in the science field that need to be in labs or those who need to be in an actual physical space. So I knew that I was probably lucky, because a lot of the stuff I could do is online. But but there's some stuff that gotta go on set, be on movie sets or TVs or whatever, which is like that's more money. I miss out. So there's a lot of struggling, but yeah, I still had a job, so I was very grateful for that. But it wasn't. I didn't feel like I was where I wanted to be in a typical post almost grad post grad space. So it was a lot of just figuring out, like, this thing called life, which I know I
Mhm.
say as a joke sometime, but in all seriousness, it was, like, a lot of just figuring that shit out because I wasn't confident back then that I would be where I'm at today.
Mhm.
But through just, like, the my I think, thing I took from that is you can be going through a lot of rough times. You might have a day you don't wanna do anything, but if you stick to the discipline of what you establish yourself to do or establish yourself to do that day, like you had that little list you have. Like I typically have a to-do list of 10 tasks, maybe eight. These tasks are important for me to knock out in a day, not to knock out in a week just for today. 'Cause if I knock them all out, my day's complete. If I miss one or two, that's fine. As long as I was making an attempt to stick to it, that's disciplined. Just because of the fact that if you stick to your discipline, that will drive you when motivation cannot. Because let's be honest here, not a lot of times we can be motivated by some motivational videos we see on Instagram or on TikTok or on Facebook. Sometimes you just gotta literally discipline yourself to just say, "Hey, I don't want to do this thing." Like, I didn't want to work out today, right? I didn't feel like doing it today, but I still did it. I woke up at 5 a.m. I went to the gym. I got my thing in. Like, because I stuck to my discipline because it'll get so fixated on it to the point where willpower or whatever the hell is inside of you just make you do a thing, we'll do with it. So when motivation is not helping you, stick to discipline and you'll be surprised at how far you go. So I think that's kind of my answer to you on that is
Yeah.
what I took from that is just discipline helped me more than any motivation could. So yeah,
And you
I
said
think
earlier slow grind, and I think that's so important and goes right in with discipline because
yeah.
grind culture is huge,
Oh yeah.
love it.
Super
Grind culture is, great. Sure,
it's
you
great.
need to work hard. Sometimes that's like a season of your life. But I tend to see grind culture as being like consistently portrayed. But I am more of a fan of the slow grind. And if you look back, you'll realize how many things have changed if you just try and accomplish a little bit each day towards your goal, whatever goal that is. Um, but it's a slow grind. So you're constantly doing it and you have the discipline to continue to make progress. You'll see it in workout gains. If you like work out consistently, even if you're not like going crazy hard in the gym, you'll notice progress over time. And that's inspiring in and of itself. You realize how far you've come from before. I mean, I look at that freshman year till now, I've come very far in many ways. Um, but I didn't do it overnight. And you can't change your life overnight most of the time. You can make decisions to change your life overnight, but you have to take a little bit of action each day in order to really figure out and build what you want to build. So it's a slow
100%.
grind, it's a process, but we're all gonna get there.
Hell yeah.
Just gotta
Hell
take the
yeah.
steps.
That's all that
Take the
matters,
steps
man.
across the stage to start it off.
That's your first start, my friend, and you're gonna do just fine. Just walk, do whoever you gotta dab up, whoever you gotta dab up, take that degree, take the photo, and just do your thing. Just don't be a meme, because I
Shout
swear to
out
you,
Dr.
somebody gonna
Gryson, Dr. Penn. Shout
somebody gonna be
outs.
a meme. Oh
Those are
yeah,
my
shout
shout
out.
outs.
Those are your shout outs. I mean, I don't really have any much shout outs. I mean, this is kind of like I guess shout out to the class of 2020. Yo, we gonna do a thing, guys. We gonna represent. Shout out to all those who couldn't do it. We got y'all. We got y'all on our backs for sure. Um, so, but in that case, I guess that brings us to the end of today's podcast episode. First and foremost, anyone listening who either got to the end of this recording or end of the video, thank you for watching. We appreciate that truly. We've been doing this thing for about now 2 years because we started in 2020, if I recall.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
weird.
kind of funny to see, like, yo, we've been doing this for a minute. Oh my God. So, shout out to all our guests we've had so far. We appreciate y'all coming on, talking to us, chatting with us. We love having y'all. And we look forward to many more times to be able to do this thing. As always, for your host is Steve and Marilyn here checking in, and we're out of this piece. So thank you. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time.